Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente, and here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, you know, there's a big controversy going out over there in St. Louis. They want to build a new stadium for their football team, and they want the taxpayers to pay for it. You know, my master's degree is in public administration. Got it way back in 1970. And I've been studying these so-called economic development agencies and all of these people that build these parks and sport facilities and convention centers so that others could benefit from them and we, the taxpayers, subsidize them. Every study shows that the only people that benefit from them are the big corporations and the big team owners. Here's an example. Growing yogurt industry to get new plant upstate. This is from the Toilet Paper Record. A fast-growing industry in upstate New York, yogurt production, is about to get even bigger. Governor Andrew Cuomo said Friday that PepsiCo Company and a German dairy company had agreed to open a yogurt factory in the western part of the state, adding 160 jobs to an industry that has provided a needed jolt for New York's dairy farmers and several struggling communities. PepsiCo and the German company Theo Mueller will invest $206 million, and the state and Genesee County have agreed to provide $26 million in tax credits and other incentives to help attract the companies. There's a little correction over here, prostitutes in the New York Times. You got the lingo just a little bit wrong. Genesee County and the state, they're not providing anything. We're providing it, not them. This is a lot of crap, giving Pepsi Cola, the people that, you know, all that crap soda and all the other junk that they make. We got to subsidize these people? A German company? It's so out of control. Fire all of these economic development agency people. It's a lot of baloney. I know the facts. I know the data. It was my field. And they're robbing us and giving their money to their buddies. End of story on that one. And talking about the economy, things aren't going too good over there in India. That's right. A sharp fall in India's economic growth to 6.1% in the quarter to the end of December, the slowest in 3 years, has triggered fears of a prolonged decline unless emergency steps are taken this month. Then you go back and you look a little around and you see other news that doesn't look so cheery, and that's coming out of China. So China's not looking so rosy anymore either. Here's one from the Wall Street Journal. Builders feel bite in China. And it goes on and shows you all of these empty cities, these huge developments with nobody living in them. And then you follow the stock market. Asian stocks decline as metal producers, China's property developers fall. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, this is last week, slid 1.4%, led by property developers. Chinese home prices fell in February, the most in 19 months. This thing is slowing down, and all they're doing is pumping more money into the system. And speaking of China, and speaking of U.S. hypocrisy, let's look at a little China news over here that really doesn't make the news very much. This is from the Toilet Paper Record. Deadly clashes erupt in western China. An outburst of violence in a remote desert region in western China has underscored the tensions over Chinese rule in ethnic minority areas. About 20 people were killed. The biggest eruptions in this area in the Xinjiang, these are the Uyghurs, the Xinjiang province in recent years, occurred in 2009 when frustrated Uyghurs, I love it, frustrated Uyghurs, frustrated Uyghurs. Look at that kind of crap language. If it was Syria or Libya, they wouldn't say frustrated Syrians or Libyans that were revolting against El Dictator. Oh no, they call them, pro-democracy movement folks, wouldn't they? Or something like that. Or Free Uyghur movement. But no, these are frustrated. Oh, they're frustrated at being, repressed by a dictatorial government. The reality is, these conflicts of these people are their problems, not ours. Remember that wonderful Libyan war? You remember that humanitarian mission? Here's a little buried story down there. It's a civil war going on over there. Libya, former rebels retain prisoners. Former Libyan rebels, some of whom have been accused of torturing some 6,000 detainees, still hold about 3/4 of the people they arrested during the country's, civil war. Son of a gun. The toilet paper record called it a civil war. They weren't calling that before a civil war. Wonder when the language changed. Probably when it became convenient for them. It's all one big corrupt system, because all you have to do is look across a little bit over here. These are the kind of things that never make the news. Germany, a hefty pension for life for a president who left in disgrace. Christian Wolff, who stepped down as Germany's president last month after prosecutors asked Parliament to strip him of his immunity from prosecution over accusations of improper ties to business executives. Improper ties. Isn't that nice? An improper tie. There are proper ties and improper ties. When you or I commit a crime, we're felons. We go to jail. All they get is improper ties. So he gets to change his tie, and he also gets, for his improper ties, a pension of $266,000 a year for life. The president's office said on Wednesday, Mr. Wolff, 52, served only 20 months in office. I tell you, cut them pension programs from them Greeks. They're making too much money. Cut their minimum wage. These are the peoples who are ruining the system, I tell you. Not for some slime ball like Wolf. $266,000 a year for working 20 months, and they go after the everyday people. And they never stop, whether it's in Germany or in Texas or in the United States of America. Here's a wonderful little story in the New York Times, in the toilet paper record. Across Texas, police root out transgressors of a mild sort. All over the state, they're going after people for not paying dog fines. They're arresting them. Hey, they never arrested John the Slime Corzine from MF Global that can't find $1.6 billion. But hey, this guy's paying $886 because his insurance expired on his car. That's the way it is, folks. It's fascism. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.